Hello, good morning, and welcome to this Dawn Busters Taste Challenge. Well, dawn is not here really. It's dark outside, so thought it would be kind of daylight a little bit by now, but no, it's kind of foggy, not too foggy yet. We'll see. It's warm, relatively warm. I think the temperature is what, 68, yeah. Um, it was 85 when I was walking around New Orleans yesterday, making little videos, made 9 short little videos about all the Super Bowl stuff, big pro football weekend, I called it. But it was warm, let me tell you. I don't know what it's going to get up to today. We have a little cold snap later in the week, but we're on a definite warming trend. Hopefully, we do need rain, but I don't. Obviously, no one wants it to be bad weather. Anyway, here is Kentucky Gold, introduced in 1956 by a company called Sina, 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 something like that. But then it said the trademark, I was looking at trademark information, it said the trademark expired in 1992, and then it was immediately registered by Heaven Hill. This may be out of production, however, because they're not listed on the website anymore, but that may not mean anything, but it is kind of odd. But because they usually have a pretty comprehensive product specifications list. And I did buy it on closeout, not because it was out of production. That's not what they told me at the store. They said they marked it down to $1.99 because it wasn't selling. There was like 10 products on that shelf behind the counter. They said people didn't buy them, so they wanted to get rid of them. They had all kind of brands. Didn't want to buy everything. But I figured $1.99, what the heck? I should have bought 2 bottles, have a full amount, and it would only cost me $3.98. But Mr. Amazing says, good morning, Ron. Good morning to you. When I first bought this in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, it was a regular price, like $5.99 for the half. And it said Kentucky blended whiskey, 80% grain spirits, 20% straight whiskey, aged 3 years. Now it's saying, there's the newspaper. They're running late. Now it's saying blended whiskey with natural flavors and caramel color. But they got no blend ratio listed. So that's telling me they have this registered now as a DSS, a distilled spirit specialty, which it's technically not a whiskey. It's a distilled spirit specialty whiskey-based product. And what the deal is on that is that they're probably adding flavoring that's exceeding the limit, which is 2.5%. If you read your regulations, it says American blended whiskey is allowed to have flavoring added and coloring, caramel color. And they don't have to disclose it on the label, no problem. But it cannot exceed 2.5%. So they went over that, no problem. They just registered as a distilled spirit specialty, which is a catch-all category for anything that doesn't meet the specs for anything else. Wesley S. Thimer says, what's up, Jay? Massachusetts is getting slammed with snow today. Oh, man. Sorry to hear that. We had that experience last month, as you know, 3 weeks ago. Here's the competitor. This is Texas 254, big glass bottle, not plastic. And it's blended whiskey. It says it right there. It's not a distilled spirit specialty. It's named after the 254 counties of Texas. Texas has more counties than any state. And Louisiana doesn't have counties. We have parishes, which is pretty much the same thing. I paid $19.99 for this at Broadway Liquors in New Orleans, Louisiana. It's aged 2 years, and it's 80% grain neutral spirits, 20% straight whiskey, and it's from Backwoods Craft Distillery, a very small, definitely craft distillery. They're not, some of these companies, they claim they're craft, like handcrafted, then it's a huge factory. And they're like, well, we used our hands to press a button. But here it really is. There's only one little problem with this product. I'll explain it later. I'll show you the website. Well, let me pour it and then I'll show you the website. It's not a whole lot to look at, but it's there at least. I'm standing right now at 3 wins, 2 losses. Got it right 3 times and got it wrong twice. Why is that? Well, it could be because I'm bad at tasting whiskey, but I think the real reason is because this Kentucky Gold is like doesn't differentiate itself from all the other run-of-the-mill products. And as you probably know, with beer, wine, and liquor, there's a lot of run-of-the-mill products. I didn't say bad. I just said run-of-the-mill. Like they're all about the same. You know what I mean? They're like not that different one from another. Barely different one from another. And you're probably like me. You're saying, well, in that case, why not just buy the cheapest one? Exactly. Why not buy the cheapest one? If they're all going to taste more or less the same in a practical sense, the same, yeah, then that would make sense. It's like American light beer or American lager. You might say, how come you always buying now this stuff doesn't look like it's colored at all, and it doesn't claim to have caramel color, not that they're required to say that, but I mean, look how pale it is. That's almost like straw. I just think they're not adding color in. I can't prove it, but it does appear to be the case. The reason I buy natural ice is because I like the flavor. It's got good body with the 5.9% alcohol. There's nothing offensive about it. And I can get a 30 pack, a brick, as they call them, for $21 even, which is almost the cheapest price for a brick in this area. The actual cheapest price is for Milwaukee's Best Light, $19.98 for a brick. I like that beer, and I recommend it for light beer, and I'll probably buy it again. But I just find it's a little more enjoyable to drink the natural ice. Got a little bit more character, and it's not high calorie either. I don't know how they pull that off. Got pretty low calories. It was like 130, but yet it's 5.9. So it's kind of percent alcohol. Kind of interesting. So check this out. Here's the website. They actually have this company, but they don't list this on the other one. Now they say crafted to perfection. I definitely do not agree with that. They're showing the regular bottle. Nothing but a smooth taste finish is what you will taste. A hint of oak and balance to perfection. Well, I agree with the hint of oak, and it's smooth, but I'm going to tell you about here's some of the other products they make. They're mainly famous for Texacraft pickle vodka, sour pickle vodka, dill pickle vodka, whatever, blah, blah, blah vodka. There's like a spicy version, hot pepper version. And I don't think they're making too much money off of 254, maybe in Texas. I can't speak for Texas, but in Louisiana, I've never seen it in my town, ever. I saw it at Broadway Liquors in New Orleans. I bought the bottle. I went back a few times just to go look around before the Tulane football games, and I never saw it again. So they must have they probably ordered a case, meaning 6 bottles. They sold them and they didn't bring them back. It probably didn't really move much. So definitely not a big player in my state. But then, of course, Kentucky Gold is not a big player in my state. I've never seen it in my town. I found it in Baton Rouge once. I saw it at International Market in Metairie. And I think I saw a regular size bottle somewhere. It might have been at Star in Kenner, Louisiana. It was either a bottle or the 750, and it was glass, and it was not expensive. Okay, but to say it's a major player would be definitely incorrect. Now, you might go to Kentucky and it's in every store. I understand that, like Kentucky Deluxe. That's all over Kentucky, but you'll never see it in Louisiana. I have. Do we get a lot of blended whiskeys around here? We get some. I'm talking about American blended whiskeys. Obviously, Seagram's 7 Crown is in every store. Without exception. There's not a liquor outlet in Louisiana that doesn't sell Seagram 7 Crown. If you go to Dorgnax, which is in a city over it, an area of over 300,000 people, they've got that, what do they call it? Preferred, J.W. Dant Preferred, Charcoal Mellowed. They got that. They got Jim Beam 8-star, or I'm sorry, Beams 8-star. They don't put Jim on it. Beams 8-star. They've got Oh, a few others. I don't want to say here and tax my mind over, but there's about 5 or 6. Oh yeah, Kessler, common one over there. There's like 5 or 6 there lined up, of course, on the bottom shelf. And the prominent one, naturally, is Seagram 7. Um, Clearly, people buy them. You say, oh, they're just using it for a mixer, a cheap mixer. I would say, yes, that's most certainly the case. And you'll see it at all the restaurants, Japanese, Chinese, Mexican, seafood restaurants. One of those blended whiskeys. Might even be a DSS, like a concierge. It'll say blended whiskey with natural flavors, caramel color, which probably exceeds the limit allowed for flavoring. But they don't care because it's so inexpensive, and they just make whatever cocktail that you order. And you're getting overcharged while you're drinking it. You're paying an exorbitant amount. I mean, go to the French Quarter here this weekend with all of this activity. Every bar is going to have these blended whiskeys, and you're going to buy cocktails, and it's going to cost a lot of money. They call that what they call event pricing. Me, I just don't see that. That doesn't register in my mind. I walked around for an hour yesterday down there, and it was nice, and everybody was they were behaving. And of course, it was between 2:30 and 4 in the afternoon, wasn't at night. Now after dark, and people been drinking for hours and hours, and who knows what else they're doing. Then it gets crazy and super crowded. But I didn't want to be involved with that. But the whole idea is they're going to go down there. You're going to spend extraordinary amounts of money on nothing, really. You're getting what you're getting, mixed drinks, and don't even ask about the price for beer. So, but if that's what you want to do, this your business, it's fine. It doesn't make any difference to me, especially since it's not coming out of my wallet. I didn't even pay to park. I know where to go. I live close. I'm only 29 miles or 30 miles from there. I know where to park and not have to pay. It was nice, though. I saw some Eagles fans, Philadelphia Eagles fans. They were lost. I know you said, well, they didn't just use their smartphone. I don't know. The guy's like, I hear the man and his crew. He's probably my age, and he's got his wife with him, and I assume. And they're saying, go this way, go that way. Where is it? And the wife's saying, go to the right. And I said, you need help finding something? He said, yeah, where's Bourbon Street? I said, oh, well, follow me. You can't really trust people to do that, but I guess he trusted me. And I said, it's right here. Just go to the corner. And I showed him pointing toward the west. I said, go up that block, and that's Bourbon Street, running, parallel to the street. He was on Royal Street. Oh, thank you. And he shook my hand. Oh man, thanks so much. It looked like they may have been, but they were appreciative. Then I went by the church, Our Lady of Guadalupe, for 4:00 mass. They still had the chain locked. I went by the train station, which is now a tourist information center, free bathroom all day, so use the restroom. And they have a cafe and coffee shop and all. It's nice. So I went in there, used the restroom, and I went back to the church. Still locked up. I said, that's odd, So then I saw another Eagles fan about my age, a little older maybe, and his wife. And he's on the phone. I hear him saying, and he's listening, and then he tells his wife, they're not having mass. It's canceled. I said, and then I just said to him, it's canceled? Yeah, I called the church phone number and had a recording say it was canceled this weekend. I said, oh, because of the Super Bowl crowds. I said, well, and then he was saying, what do we do now? I know there's other churches in this city. I said, well, yeah. He said, I guess we got to go back to that big church. He meant the cathedral at 5:30. I said, well, actually, if you go, I can show you where there's a church. Not far. It's not real close, but it's not too far. And they're going to have mass at 4:00. I said, you can follow me. He wasn't sure how to take that, because you never know in the city what these people are up to. So I said, well, I'm going to mass there. And you can see I was dressed for church. I wasn't wearing a t-shirt and shorts. So he said, okay. I said, you're going to see it. And then I said, you see that big street? That's Canal Street. I said, we're going to go down that street and take a right. You're going to see it. Okay. And then the wife said twice, is it far? I said, it's not really that far. I said, we're getting close. And then when we turned the corner off Canal, you could see the huge church. She said, oh, I said, I told you. There it is. Oh, they were so happy. Thank you. I said, you're welcome. And then it was packed with people. It was packed with people. 1/3 wearing regular clothes, obviously from New Orleans. 1/3 wearing red, and the other third were wearing green. Perfect opportunity to go to mass Saturday afternoon. Then Sunday, you don't have that over you. You know, I'm not saying to get it over with. You're not using that kind of thinking, but you know, it essentially that's what it is. So, and it was a very nice mass. Not elaborate. It was vigil mass, so it only lasted minutes. But if you went to this church, you'd be. This is a definite. Even if you're not religious, it's a tourist attraction just because of the incredible artwork and the architecture. They built it on a Byzantine style, so it looks like like a Russian Orthodox church, but it isn't. Even tourists, they just looking like, oh, that building's 90 years old. 95 years old. What am I saying? 95 years old. That's the new church. The old one was they said the old one was so dilapidated from the 1840s. They just tore it down. Wasn't worth fixing, repairing, and they built this new one up 95 years ago. All right. You might notice that I'm trying not to look down because if I see that pale color, I'm gonna know what it is. But I'm not gonna get this wrong, and I'll tell you why in a minute. This smells like nothing really. A lot of these, they just have like a neutral aroma, like there's no. And that goes for beer and wine too sometimes, but the flavor will be there. But this one does have an aroma, and it's like oak, vanilla and oak. All right, nice smell, nothing amazing, but nothing bad. Taste time, cheers. I know what it is. I knew when I smelled it the second time. Smells like pickles, and it tastes like dill pickle or sour pickle. You say, whoa, wait up, time out. Why would a whiskey taste like pickles? I'm gonna tell you why. I got it. I know this has got to be the case. They're making vodka, right? And it's famous, and they sell it all over America. No problem. But I know what they're doing. They're using the same when they're finished making the pickle vodka to make this whiskey, and they're not cleaning it properly. So there's a residual flavor from the pickle vodka blending into the. You say, well, it is blended whiskey, yeah, but if you look at the website, it doesn't say anything like has a faint character of pickle in it. Now this one tastes like actual whiskey, even though technically it's not because it exceeds the flavoring allowance. But you know, we all know what it is: blended whiskey with flavor. This tastes like it. Tastes like I said, any other regular old blended whiskey. There's nothing pro or con with it. Just like in the middle, it's even. So would I pay more for another one over this? No, I would just get whatever was cheapest, like I said. But this thing is, I'm saying this one is tainted. And then I got this whole big bottle. Now I'm stuck with, it's going to take me years to go through that. I may as well just dump it out, I guess, because, or I could sip it down. I just like the taste of pickles. I like pickles. Sweet, dill, sour, doesn't matter. Spicy. I like them all. Cucumber, you know, pickles. But no, whiskey should not taste like pickle juice. I can taste it as clear as Vlasic. All I need is a stork. So that puts me at 4 wins, 2 losses. If one should call this a win, because it's like you're playing cards with somebody and they don't realize they're sitting in front of a mirror. It's like, I can see your cards. And you tell them, I can see your cards. Oh, stop clowning. Well, you're sitting in front of a mirror. Okay, and that's what this one is. It's so glaring with its imperfection here, this, what you call it, mistake, that you can't get it wrong. Oh, well, that's just the way it goes. So too bad. Have you tried Jameson 7-year, says Tab. No, I haven't. But I've seen it on the internet and all, people talking about it. Honestly, I'm too backlogged on whiskey to get any more. I'll give you a perfect example. a store here had Tullamore DEW, a new bottle, wasn't some old bottle. Tullamore DEW for $9.99. Not a small bottle, a full size glass bottle. Now that's a $26, $27, $28 whiskey. I mean, if you go to the Walmart, or let's say you go to Walmart, it's gonna be $28. And it definitely, well, it may not be, it'll be no less than 26. I don't see you buying it less than 26 bucks. And here they got it for $9.99. But I didn't buy it because I don't need it. There's too much. I got too much now. See, I said, let somebody else get it. And I like Tullamore DEW. I still got half a bottle when Walmart closed. And I thought I was getting a great deal. And I did get a great deal when Walmart closed it out for 13. Don't know why they did that. 13 bucks. I got it at Walmart, which was half price because the regular price was 26. Set it on the tag. But here, this store, 1 mile from my house, had it for $9.99. But I didn't buy it. In any other circumstance, I'd have in a snap bought it. But I don't need it. I got too much backstock. Unopened. You go in that other room, you can see in the back, that other room, there are so many unopened bottles of bourbon. It is inexcusable, I guess. I'm sure casinos will be making money off people's Super Bowl bets today. You know that now that's a bet that you would never lose. You have 100% you would have 100% chance of winning that bet that casinos are going to make money off the Super Bowl. And what is right down the road? What is right down the street from the Superdome? Yes, Caesars Casino down the street. So not only are people going to pay all kind of money to go watch the game, before the game, they're going to go lose a bunch of money at the casino, and then they're going to go back and lose more. That's what casinos are designed to do, like in the movie Casino, to separate you from your money. They're designed to separate you from your money. And like the narrator says, all the girls and the comps and the meals and the sweets, they're designed to separate you from your money. They're not designed because they're trying to be nice to you and give you free drinks and all. That's, if you believe that, you are in some kind of fantasy world. I'm not saying that should be illegal, and I'm not saying they should be shut down. I am a free enterprise person. But on the other hand, you have to know what you're dealing with. And if you don't realize it, you're going to get separated from your money. Well, bet on the Eagles then. No, I'm not betting on anybody. I didn't, because I've been through enough bad Super Bowls where it was so boring, it was such a blowout. But lately they've been good. Here's a book I've been rereading. I read it years ago, but Shanghai Conspiracy. An amazing book. An amazing story about Richard Sorge, he had a Russian father, I believe it was, and a German mother, or other way around. He moved to Germany when he was born in Russia. He moved to Germany when he was 2 years old. He got involved with Communist Party activity in 1920. He had served in the German World War I. And his job was to infiltrate the German government and go to Japan and be an expert on Japanese affairs and report all this information to the Soviet Union, which he did from 1933 till he got arrested in 1941 when the Japanese finally got wise to him. And it was amazing. He got arrested. He was talking to the German ambassador all the time. They would have dinner together. He posed himself as a newspaper reporter. He was a newspaper reporter, a very good reporter. He was a hard drinker, ran around with all kind of women. So they thought, this guy's a wreck. He drinks all the time, goes to bars, talks loud, crazy German guy. He was a member of the National Socialist German Workers' Party, the Nazi party. Perfect cover. Like they never, and when he got caught, the German government says, "Oh, you got the wrong guy. He's a Nazi." There's some kind of confusion here. You Japanese, y'all don't know what y'all are doing. They said, "No, he's literally. We got a mountain of evidence, and he's the guy that told the Soviet Union, don't worry about Japan attacking you. They're not going to. They're busy worrying about America and China and England. Their troops are heading south toward Indonesia." And that way the Soviet Union was able to pull most of their troops off the Eastern Front, the Siberia front, send them to Moscow and protect Moscow and cause the German invasion to fail. And the Germans couldn't believe it. But yet they had never bothered to check his background. True story. Never bothered to check his background. Well, when they Ribbentrop, he says, check his background. These Japanese are crazy. They check his background. They couldn't believe it, like a heart attack. The guy had been involved in communism. If they had bothered checking his background at the jump, he'd have been caught. But they knew they were sloppy. They knew that the Soviets knew those guys are sloppy. They're supposed to be so meticulous, the Germans, so meticulous. Never bothered to check. He had one of the biggest impacts on the war. So it's amazing. It's an amazing story. The worst thing that happened was the Allies let the Russians have Poland. Well, that and a lot of other bad things, to say the least. All right, so the winner here is Kentucky Gold, because of the fact that this thing is tainted with pickle juice. So there you go. All right, well, y'all take care. Have a good Super Sunday in a way, and I'll see y'all soon. Bye-bye. Thanks for watching and commenting.